Everybody out there, all my MDK gang members out there, go check out Cole TV. I checked it out myself. That shit's dope as hell.
Salutations, everybody, and welcome to the premiere episode of Pro Wrestling 60. I'm super excited because I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, Mr. B-Roll.
How we doing out there, world?
Oh, we are doing awesome. We're jacked up. It is WrestleMania week, and we are so excited to bring to you the premiere of Pro Wrestling 60. Now, you may be wondering to yourself, what exactly is Pro Wrestling 60? Well, I'm going to tell you, Pro Wrestling 60 is going to be a weekly show here on Cole TV where we're going to talk about everything that happened in the world of professional wrestling that week. And we're going to do it in 60 minutes or less. So we got a lot of stuff to cover, don't we, brother?
That is right. And with that being said, no men or women have ever been bold enough to say they can cover the entire world of professional wrestling in 60 minutes or less. So with that being said, the clock is already ticking, so we better get right into it.
That's right. Let's get to our top story of the week.
Yes, our top story of the week is going to be as the bloodline turns.
That's right. It is the hottest storyline in professional wrestling today, folks. The bloodline, it's been incredible. And it looks like we are just going to get an incredible set of matches and stories being told at WrestleMania. But let's take a look and see what happened all this week with the bloodline. And first off, as we all know, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have reunited because it feels so good. So Sami and KO finally are on the same page. And this past week on Monday Night Raw, it was made official that Sami and KO will challenge the Usos for the undisputed tag team championship at WrestleMania, which is something we long knew coming. How excited are you for this matchup? Because I mean, I have goosebumps just thinking about the stories being told to this build-up between these two teams.
Yeah, I believe me and you had talked about this before. We feel that this should be one of the main events, but I don't think it's going to. But
my opinion, I think this should close the Saturday night, and then Cody and Roman's closing Sunday. There's no doubt about that. But I do feel like this should close Saturday night. I did hear an interesting take from our pal Tyler Russells off TikTok. If you're not following him, you should go give him a follow. How What If Night 2 kicked off with this matchup and it ended with KO, or ended with Roman and Cody. That would be pretty awesome too. Regardless, it's going to be an awesome matchup nonetheless. And I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I mean that is right. I mean, we're on the road to WrestleMania, so let's go.
Yeah. That's right. And, of course, with this all being said, we now know that Main Event Jay is back with the Bloodline as he was reunited with his tribal chief. Okay.
Oh, yeah. As Roman looked into the eyes of Jay, he could see that fire burning inside of him, and he knew he was
the one.
The one.
God, this just got more awkward than a CM Punk Instagram story, but
hey-o!
But nonetheless, Jay has been reunited with his tribal chief. Okay, enough of that tomfoolery. But yeah, it's good to see the whole back together because come WrestleMania, they're gonna go fall apart. I'm predicting it. Predicting it. Cody said it. I'm saying it. That's what's happening. But I don't know. But we can't forget about the confrontation that night, later that night on Monday Night Raw, between the Tribal Chief himself and his WrestleMania opponent, Cody Rhodes. What an amazing promo this was between these two. Roman pretty much calling Cody out, saying pretty much when he, when he gets to a certain point and he fails, he just ends up quitting. Making reference to him leaving the WWE, making reference to him leaving AEW, which was very interesting. And then Cody, the way he just came back, man. That's the thing. Roman Reigns has been like hitting him with like touchdowns after touchdown, but Cody is coming right back, man. This promo battle, it reminds me of like seriously, it reminds me of like you remember that game on Monday Night Football with the Kansas City Chief and the Rams years ago, where it was like literally 60-66 or something like that. Yeah, that's definitely what it reminds me of here. But man, I'm telling you, like the promo battles between these two has been awesome, and Paul being in there too. But one thing that I loved about this was how about Solo being featured? And I mean, the Cody saying, you know what, Solo, you're not ready. You're just not ready. And I loved how he referenced back to like Cody's days as part of the legacy. I thought was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And like Solo's facials, dude, if y'all don't know, Solo is a future superstar, man. I'm telling you. And if you don't see it, y'all are blind. But
yeah, I think I was watching another podcast. So shout out to Two Dudes with Attitude. You can find them on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you go give them a follow. I believe I was watching theirs, and I had made the comment. Solo's facials were the MVP of this segment.
Yes, I totally
like
agree.
kind of like the unsung MVP. Because his facials when not only like when Cody was like getting his face and stuff, but like especially when Roman stopped him.
Yeah. Yes, everything about it was chef's kiss. And how Roman walked out at the end after like Cody had pretty much just told him, "Hey, the bloodline's done for." Oh man. Oh baby. Oh baby. And as we all found out on Friday Night SmackDown, Solo Sequoia will be going one-on-one with Cody Rhodes. Coming up on this Monday night. But hey, let's talk about the Showcase of the Immortals, because that's where we're going to, folks. And let's talk about WrestleMania. How excited are you for WrestleMania, my friend?
So excited. This is like my, it's like my second WrestleMania because, I haven't been a fan for that long. So here we go.
And here we go. And it's going to be a hell of a card. Like, first off, we got to talk about, just added, the Usos will be defending their tag team championship against KO and Sami Zayn. Like we've said so much about this, it's going to be an incredible matchup, and I can't wait. Also, what about this? We're going to get Seth freaking Rollins against social media superstar Logan Paul. That's going to be a good one too. It should be an athletic display. How about this one, B-roll?
Big meaty men slapping meat.
That's right. So we got the Intercontinental Championships on the line. Gunther against Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. And how about this championship matchup? The Raw Women's Championship. We will see Bianca Belair defend her championship against Asuka. Is Bianca ready for Asuka? I don't know. We'll find out about WrestleMania. And how about this one, B-roll?
Yeah, I mean, hey, like we've talked about, this is hey, we want to get you on the card.
There we go. So we got your showcase match, they're calling us?
Yeah.
With three of some of the best tag teams and Ricochet and an asshole put together. That's right. The Street Profits going against the Viking Raiders, Alpha Academy. There, I said it. Just need to read. And Ricochet and, yes, Braun Strowman. Also, oh, God. Vince McMahon's wet dream comes true at WrestleMania as Omos goes one-on-one against the Beast, Brock Lesnar.
And
Now
then
this-
next, we
Ooh.
have none other than Edge himself versus Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell.
That's right.
Now, could it be Demon Finn Balor though? I think we're getting Demon Finn Balor is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
And Brood Edge.
And Brood
I don't know.
Edge. Now, here at PW60, we were lucky enough to get some exclusive behind the scenes footage.
Yeah. That's right. Yes. I think we need to take a look at that footage right now. These are some clips from that promo. Check this out.
Finn, you don't understand that you're messing with a Canadian. You're messing with a madman surrounded by scented candles that all smell like pumpkin. That is good shit. 'Cause I don't have all the time. I'm running out of time. I have milk sitting outside of my fridge right now, about to spoil, and my house is gonna smell weird, and there's nothing that Beth Phoenix can do to make it smell any better. Because she has not bathed in a week, because she's now joined a group of hippies, and damn it, I'm sick of it. I've grown to learn lately that I have an addiction to Fiber One bars. I am pooping 10 times a day, and they all smell like maple syrup for some reason. And I just want to take out that anguish from having to sit on the toilet all day. My legs keep losing the feeling in them, but I'm gonna let out all that anger on you in Hell in a Cell. And I hope you bring your demons on DVD. Yes, Dario Argento's Demons, now on Blu-ray. Shania Twain. I knows you, Finn, that stole my DVD collection of Degrassi. But you can't take away my Hulu account, because I can watch Letterkenny whenever I want. Is anyone else getting the Canadian references? Shania Twain. You know, it's no doubt about it that I was born lactose intolerant, and every single Thursday I eat an entire cheesecake and drink an entire gallon of chocolate milk. Finn. Why? 'Cause I gotta test my limits. I gotta be another kind of man. A Canadian who eats a whole cheesecake and a gallon of chocolate milk. Is my beard on fire? 'Cause I am smelling burnt hair. Shania Twain. I'll see you next week at Wrestling's Bound for Glory. Shit. WrestleMania. WrestleMania 32. Shit. I will see you at Super Card of Honor. Smells weird in here. Is the gas on?
Well, Edge kind of forgot where he was at there, but shout out to our friend Besky out there. But yes, the Hell in a Cell match coming your way at WrestleMania. But hey, let's talk about this one. 6-woman tag. We got Damage Control going up against your new tag team champions, Becky Lynch and Lita, and Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. How about this threesome, huh?
Hey, never complain about Trish Stratus being on my TV, so.
You like some Stratisfaction? We all like Stratisfaction. And we just learned this past week on Friday Night SmackDown, your opening matchup for WrestleMania Saturday. Your very first matchup is going to be A-Town Down, baby. Austin Theory defending his United States Championship against John Cena. You can't see him, or can you, my friend? I think you can see him, right? Just squint a little harder.
Yeah, got it.
And what is potentially the main event for Saturday night is your SmackDown Women's Championship with Charlotte Flair defending against Mommy herself, Rhea Ripley. And of course, the main event, the piece de resistance. It's your undisputed championship matchup with Cody Rhodes finishing the story. Will he finish the story Sunday night against Roman Reigns, your
We'll just
tribal
have to-
chief?
We will have to wait and see. And I just gotta throw it out there. Roman really looks like he has to poop in this picture.
Yes, he does. Maybe that's why he's been so, well, that doesn't make any sense. But nonetheless, will your tribal chief be able to continue his reign of terror, or will the story get written? And I got to say, to me, honestly, this is one of my most anticipated WrestleMania main events I've seen in years. I cannot wait for this matchup. And in addition to that, we are going to see a showcase match for the women's tag team wrestling, which we don't know all the contestants yet, so that's why there's no graphic. But we do know Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler just got added, along with Raquel Rodriguez and
Liv
Morgan.
Yep.
And I believe Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart are in this. So we're just waiting for one more team to be announced. And speaking of announcements, there is another matchup that was added to the WrestleMania card. And that segues into our next segment here on PW60, Keeping Up with the Mysterios. So, the storyline between Dom Dom and his dad. As we all know, Rey Mysterio will be getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. But old Dom Dom, the hardened criminal he is, God, it just scares me. Just look how menacing he is. Does he not put fear into your heart, B-roll?
I mean, what can you say? He did hard time. He did hard time.
Yeah, he did. So Dom Dom pretty much calling out his old man, his pops, wanting a match at WrestleMania. And then on Friday night on SmackDown, folks, as Rey Mysterio's wife and daughter were in the crowd, Dom Dom showed his ass, essentially. He's a little brat. And pretty much told his mother to shut up, and this is what sent Rey over the edge. And thus, folks, here we have it. Rey Mysterio against Dominic Mysterio, 1-on-1 at WrestleMania.
That is
guacamole.
right. Yeah, I loved it because you knew as soon as you saw the family there, you were like, okay, like this match is beneficial, but it hasn't been official. So, but as soon as you saw the family there, you were like, yep. This match is getting made official tonight, so let's go.
That's right, my friend. So there you go. And that's what's happening in the world of the Mysterios as they will come to an head at WrestleMania. All right, folks, we're going to continue on here on PW60. We're going to go with a friend of ours, a couple friends of ours. So check out some moments from our friends Husky and your tribal queen.
So I heard you want a hot take. I got a hot take for you. Before he hangs it up, Kenny Omega will headline WrestleMania.
I already know what it is. It is your tribal queen tidbit of the week from Tribal Queen Brie. So, it was reported this week that everybody's favorite, undisputed United States champion, A-Town Down, is going to be going up against John Cena at Mania in the first match of Night 1. Let me tell you guys something. A-Town Down is going to retain his title, remain the United States champion for a long time, and he is going to kick John Cena out of that ring into retirement. So that way there's no more once-a-year matches popping up here and there. No. A-Town Down got it in the bag. And that is your Tribal Queen tidbit of the week.
Shout out to Husky and Bree, and what the heck are you doing? Okay, I think I know what our next segment is, B-roll. Am I right? Why don't you tell us about it, my friend?
I think you're right. Coming up next, we're going to be looking at our match of the week. And yes, we may have already known that this was going to be our match of the week before the match.
Is there any doubt?
Happened.
Yeah.
Man, what a show that these two men put on. Kenny Omega, always solid, but the world found out about El Hijo del Vikingo. I think I said that right.
Say that 3 times fast.
Yeah, El Hijo del Vikingo. Yeah, incredible athlete, incredible wrestler. Some of the things he can do between on the ropes and everything, just absolutely amazing. And yeah, what a match and what a showcase for El Hijo del Vikingo, definitely.
Oh my gosh. And we had the pleasure of getting to see him in person. And my gosh, what an incredible performer he is. And man, if here's the thing, if you look back on this, because I'm sure you're like me and have watched this match like at least 2 to 3 times since it happened.
Yeah, I
And
watched it. I watched it like the next day, like just this match.
isn't it crazy though? Like when you see something and it's literally the term instant classic, and folks, that's exactly what this match was on AEW Dynamite. My goodness. But what I noticed in rewatching it is like the table spot. We gotta talk about the table spot. I mean, he was literally like that close from like taking his damn head off. My gosh, and you know you hear it all the time. Please don't try this at home. These are trained professional. Fikino has mastered his craft. He is incredible, and I cannot wait to see where he goes from here. We know he's working GCW. We know he's working and he's working with Warrior Wrestling here in the States. And he also just got announced for Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor show.
Yep.
So
But did I get the? Do I have the right type of hat?
I think you did, my friend. I think you did.
Good.
So,
Good.
All right, now on
Should
a
I leave it on the rest of the show, or
you do you, homie? I mean, I like it. I think it looks sexy. You're bringing sexy back for Vikings, but
I think we're going to go back to the regular hat.
Okay. Well, we go from that to on a down note. Sad news in the world of wrestling this week, as it was revealed that Impact Wrestling's longest reigning world champion, Josh Alexander, did in fact have to vacate his Impact World Championship. Fortunately, he suffered a torn triceps and will be out for an extended period of time. So we here at Cole TV and PW60 want to wish Josh Alexander very well and hope he gets feeling better, and cannot wait to see him come back to the world of Impact Wrestling.
Yes, he definitely will come back better and stronger than ever. This is the kind of news that it just sucks.
It does.
It sucks, but it's part of the reality of the sport that we all know and love. So
that's right. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, Mr. B-Roll, Impact Sacrifice premium. I'm not going to say damn premium live event. They're special, if you will, on their streaming service, because I hate premium live event, but I can't call it a pay-per-view, I guess. But I guess you pay like $10 a month or whatever for Impact Plus. So, or no, it's $8, I think. But anyways, Mr. B-Roll, what did we see on Impact Sacrifice show?
Yeah, I mean, for it being what it was, you definitely got your money's worth. There was a lot of really great matches on the card. Let's just go match by match, and we'll just kind of break down the card. We saw Mike Bailey versus Jonathan Gresham open up the show. Mike Bailey picking up the win there. So now they are, I believe, 1-1. So maybe a potential rubber match coming up soon. I think they're I believe they're 1-1. And then we also saw Joe Hendry defending his Impact Digital Media Championship. I got a question for you.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I answered it for you.
That is right. He was going up against Brian Myers, the world's most professional wrestler. And in typical Brian Myers fashion, he took the L again. Shots fired. That was not very nice of me. I'm sorry, Brian Myers. I'm sure you're a wonderful gentleman. And, you're friends with Cardona. So, there you go. You got that going for you. But then, continuing on the card, we saw the virtuosa herself versus the quintessential diva, Giselle Shaw. Deonna Purrazzo versus Giselle Shaw. Deonna Purrazzo picked up the win here. I've really been digging this rivalry for sure. The big thing here with this was we did see the return of a Miss Tasha Steelz.
Money.
Going face-to-face with her old partner in crime, Savannah Evans, who got a little bit of a makeover if you did not see.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I guess I didn't really notice it. Yeah, I guess she did, didn't she?
Yeah, look at her in the top of the middle there. That's Savannah Evans.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or maybe she just wasn't in her ring gear. I don't know. I think our boy Jay Vidal was taking care of her. Is what I'm thinking.
That's right.
All right, then continuing down the card, we saw PCO pick up the win against Kenny King. Trey Miguel defended his Impact X Division championship against Lynch Dorado.
Lindsay Dorado.
Lindsay Dorado, thank you for that. We also saw the tag team belts defended. Bullet Club defeated Team MDK. And then we also saw the busted open match, Bully Ray versus Tommy Dreamer. Bully Ray does heel things and picks up the win.
A lot
here.
of chaos after that.
A lot of chaos, definitely.
And a Scott D'Amore Canadian Destroyer. How about that?
Yeah. There was, like you said, a lot of chaos after that one for sure. And I would say this was probably my favorite match on the card. Was the main event. You had Time Machine taking on Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, and Steve Macklin, who was taking the place of Josh Alexander there. Me personally, I really enjoy watching Time Machine. I feel like they're a really good trio. And yeah, I even made the comment, I can't remember where or when, but I was like, I'd be okay with them going after like a trios belt, like either in like an AEW or 6-man. Yeah, something like that. Because I really think they are a really good trio.
Yeah, I agree.
But that was Impact Sacrifice.
And they did announce that at the Rebellion pay-per-view for the Fake Impact World Championship, it is going to be Kushida one-on-one against Steve Macklin, because that'll put butts in seats. That's right. Sorry, I'm calling you Steve Macklin out. Fucking white bread. Just saying. But okay, we're all jealous because you're married to Deonna Purrazzo in real life. There, I said it. All right, that's besides the point. But also in the world of professional wrestling, we always have to talk about fashion. Am I right? And we have a fashion expert himself, a good friend of ours. You all know him. You all love him. The WrestleTok Drip God himself, Hambone, coming at you with a little wrestling red carpet.
Good evening, everybody. It is your Pro Wrestling 60 correspondent. I am the WrestleTok Drip God Hambone, and we are here at our awards ceremony. That's what this is. And this is your first episode of Pro Wrestling 60's Wrestling Red Carpet. Here with Logan Paul, who despite being a millionaire, still dresses as if he is a 13-year-old boy in high school. Luckily for him, the drip god of pro wrestling, Seth Rollins, awoke from a nap in the jungle, because that's where drip gods live, and decided that he would come to help Logan Paul maybe perhaps find a personality and some fashion sense. We move on to NXT with Ilya Dragunov, who couldn't find his entrance robe, so he borrowed his grandmother's. We move on to Riho on Dynamite, who decided that she was going to rock the collection from the tween section of Oshkosh Bagosh. Hated. Later on in Dynamite, we would see Stokely Hathaway, who rocked a little bit of the Nation of Domination collection. This was a bold choice, a bold statement. I loved it. Let's talk about our outfit of the week. Daniel Garcia comes out, stepping straight out of a Bad Boy music video from the 90s. All he needed was Puffy and Mace in the back with a cheese grater. Perfect outfit. I don't know what's going on here. That is your wrestling red carpet for this week. We'll see you next week. You badly dressed fucking marks.
Yes, badly dressed marks indeed. Shout out and thank you to Hambone, our fashion correspondent. Can I just say, can we just acknowledge the Tribal Chief? We got to acknowledge that hat on Mr. Hambone. Am I right? Throw it up. Throw it up. Throw it up. Well, hey, also in the world of wrestling, we got to talk about this week, too. How about the AEW Dynamite? And Mr. B-Roll, I know this has been one of your favorite stories here. Let's talk about it. The Elite? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes? No? Maybe? I mean, we got a tease a while back when the trios titles were, first. We were going to crown our first trios champions. That maybe Hangman possibly rejoining up with the Young Bucks, and but then it ultimately led to the return of Kenny and yada yada yada. But now here we see this is how Dynamite started. Started with two people getting taken off in an ambulance. So, Hangman obviously, Brandon Cutler went in the first ambulance, and then Hangman ends up going in the second one. Don Callis ends up, kind of convincing or forcing Kenny to kind of stay
very
behind, which we are kind of glad Kenny stayed behind because that was an amazing match.
Yes.
But yeah,
how about Hangman getting in the ambulance and going with them,
Yeah.
to the hospital,
Yeah.
And it's going to be a good wrestling show, folks, when you start off with somebody going to the hospital in an ambulance.
Yeah. And all I could think about too, as this scene in like Dynamite progressed, I was like, this is gonna make for one epic episode of BTE.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And hey, let's talk about the end of the night where after that main event, that historic main event, where Hangman would make his triumphant return in an ambulance, said
In
ambulance.
an ambulance.
Not sure why he stole it and couldn't call an Uber, but whatever.
He's cheap.
Apparently. And now he's going to go to jail for stealing an ambulance. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so Hangman showing up there at the end of the night was very interesting to see. And we got to talk about that there at the end. Look, you see Mr. Callis on the ground acting like he had been hit by Hangman. Like, what? I don't know, B-roll. What do you make of all this?
Well, I make of it. I'll say the words of what I texted to you. F Don Callis.
Well, I can respect that. But
that is how I really feel about this. Hangman, who is probably my like personal favorite, was just trying to do the right thing. He has saved the Bucks before in the past, and gosh, I may even get a little bit emotional here.
It's okay. It's okay.
Because you think about after all the crap that they have been through, he still had Kenny's back and was going out there, wasn't going to let the Blackpool Combat Club inflict any more damage,
Yeah.
And then, you have Don Callis, who
is a turd.
He's trying to milk Kenny for all he's worth, or I don't know what you want to call it.
Well, hey, speaking of the Blackpool Combat Club, how about their reign of terror this week on Dynamite alone? Jumping the Elite, jumping their war with the Dark Order and stuff that's going on, man. Like a huge attitude change, and then jumping Kenny at the end of the night. Obviously, they have gone full blown heel. And you know what, B-roll? I think I know why this is happening. Why Mox, Claudio, and Wheeler have decided just to go where they want to just violently hurt people, other than, yes, they're violent by nature. It's because of their new shirts. Come on. Is this not the most basic bitch shit you've ever seen? I mean, come on, man. Bring back the old BCC shirts, man. These suck.
I'm really surprised that our WrestleTok Drip God did not tear these apart.
Right.
Because they look like they are coming out of a high school gymnasium.
Agreed.
After they just wrestled in high school. But
it is what it is.
It's not the shirt that makes the man, it's the man that makes the shirt.
I guess
so.
We'll see what the Blackpool Combat Club gets into next. And oh man, I know this is going to make you emotional. How about this? FTR coming out to the Gun Club, pretty much saying they will put their AEW careers on the line if they cannot defeat the Gun Club for the tag team titles. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I mean, pulling the curtain back, I mean, I believe we had a phone conversation right after Dynamite, and I said, okay, you're the expert. You've been a fan all your life. What typically happens in this situation? And you're like, well,
typically it means that they're probably going to wrap up with AEW. So it's going to be interesting to see like when the match actually takes place. I would assume Double or Nothing. But also, I think I've heard too, isn't it their contracts technically are up in April or something? So
I mean, supposedly, but I mean, we do know that AEW does add time for missed time.
Oh, that's true.
Normally, that's due to injury. Now they weren't. I mean, I guess they were. They did take time off because of injuries, but yeah. I mean. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, it's like they said. The old saying goes, folks, in professional wrestling: And this goes in life in general. The only thing that's sure is nothing's for sure. But I tell you what is for sure, the return of Adam Cole, baby, this upcoming week on Dynamite, as he will go against Daniel Garcia. This should be a good one. It's going to be so great to see Adam Cole back in the ring. So long overdue. I cannot wait to see him back in the ring.
So let me throw a quick question at you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this is the start of, does this lead to Adam Cole Jericho?
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a possibility. I mean, obviously, it would kind of make sense because Adam Cole's like the new, like, going to come back as a white meat babyface. So, and I don't think they want to do him and MJF quite yet. And obviously, we're going to get that 4 Pillars match. I would assume at Double or Nothing, which that's going to be incredible. But I don't know. I think it's a good question. And I think you're right. I think it's going to go down that way. And also this upcoming week, how about this? How excited are you for this, Mr. B-Roll? AEW All Access will make its debut on TBS. Behind the scenes.
Right after Dynamite, we're gonna spill all the tea with AEW All Access. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm curious to kind of see like where this picks up. Because like from the trailers and stuff, like it looks like
the time frame where it takes place. I agree. It's gonna be interesting to see like where exactly,
because it looks like they're talking about Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
You see Kyle O'Reilly talking to Adam Cole. Great to see Kyle O'Reilly. Miss him. Hope he's recovering well. And
yes. Very much so. So, yeah. And that's pretty much your AEW roundup for the week. All right. We got a very special segment coming at you next here because there's a lot we're covering here in the world of wrestling. But there are some things you may miss every now and then because there's so much going on at such a fast pace. So, let's go to the 5 count with our good friend, Extreme League Wrestling.
WrestleMania, wrestling news really has no breaks, does it? Well, hang on tight, because it's going to be a wild ride. I am Extreme League Wrestling, and welcome to the 5 count, where I go over 5 pro wrestling news stories you might have missed this week in under 5 minutes, because, you know, life gets really busy, and Phil, buddy, we can't always look at your Instagram story all day. Number 1, Cody Rhodes is a pirate. It was reported back in January that Ricky Starks was spotted at the Alamo Dome to support Cody Rhodes in his Royal Rumble victory. And I guess you could say the roads to friendship goes both ways. During an interview with Good Karma Wrestling, the American Nightmare had divulged that he actually did check out the latest AEW pay-per-view in order to support his absolute friend. The grandson of a plumber did have loose lips when it came to this interview though, admitting that he was sent a pirated link in order to check out the pay-per-view. Now Cody, you wouldn't steal a car, why would you steal an AEW pay-per-view stream? Well, hopefully, after he gets that big WrestleMania payday from dethroning the Tribal Chief, he'll have enough to shell out the $60 for BR Live. Number 2, Alexa Bliss's cancer scare. Bliss revealed earlier this week that she had gone under treatment. Luckily, treatment has gone off without a hitch, and we would like to send our well wishes to Alexa Bliss and her family and friends at this time. Get well soon, Alexa. Number 3, Super Showdown Down Under. With all pandemic-era restrictions being lifted like Thanos snapped them out of thin air, WWE has been expanding with more international shows in the past year. In 2022, we saw the amazing Clash at the Castle. In 2023, we are also looking to get Money in the Bank live from London, England. Oh yeah, and King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Donate to Sammy for Syria, by the way. Well, it looks like under Triple H they're going to be trotting this globe a little bit more. From the Wrestling Observer, WWE is in discussions with the Australian government about holding a large show at some point in the city of Perth. WWE hasn't returned to the land down under since 2018's Super Showdown, and I personally think it would be a great homecoming show for one mommy. Number 4, GCW sues AEW ? It goes without saying, AEW has had their fair share of legal incidences happening in the past year, and they might just be on the precipice of another one. But this case in particular has to do with AEW Fight Forever. It has been reported that GCW owner Brett Lauderdale is intending to sue AEW over their use of the term Fight Forever. Lauderdale's case is basically built around the fact that GCW held a 24-hour wrestling marathon on Fight TV in 2021 under the same name of Fight Forever. And if Lauderdale is able to take this to court, it would of course delay the release of the game, and somewhere Kenny Omega is having a conniption fit right now. Lauderdale has commented that he has no intention on actually suing AEW, but you know what they say in the wrestling business, never say never. And finally, number 5. CM Punk shoots on AEW. Okay, let's just get this over with and talk about it. In case you have been under a rock over the past few days and just have not had internet, CM Punk posted and then deleted a lengthy statement on his feud with Jon Moxley upon his return to AEW pre-All Out Brawl Out. Long story short, he stated that Tony Khan pressured him to come back while he was injured, Mox's ideas were dumb, and that he hated his Rocky 3 idea that he ended up doing, and that also Chris Jericho was a stooge. While this is not a great sign for CM Punk to return back to AEW, this might also have some legal ramifications to it as well, because multiple AEW wrestlers, including some involved in the All Out Brawl Out, stated that they cannot legally talk about it, and then Punk just went ahead and subtweeted everybody. Look, regardless on whose side you're on, this has gotten freaking ridiculous at this point. These are all grown men acting like children, and they have a rabid fan base on both sides who is willing to go at war with each other, creating a civil war among AEW and professional wrestling fans. So in order to not sound oxymoronic, here's my TikTok on the situation. This has gotten idiotic, stupid, and outrageous. And look, I'm a CM Punk fan through and through. Like, I am a CM Punk fan. But regardless of how the situation went down, Punk agreed to it, period. He showed up on TV, he did the match with Mox. And at the end of the day, despite who is right and who is wrong, these are grown men, professionals. There's a professional there before professional wrestler. When the All Out Brawl Out occurred, I agreed that everyone was at fault, and this isn't making the situation. If CM Punk legitimately cannot work with others and his ego gets in the way too much, it pains me to say this, but maybe he should never step back into a wrestling ring. If you cannot play well with others, you cannot work in a field where you have to work with others. Period. And trust me, AEW's hands aren't clean in this either. Chris really shouldn't have posted what he posted on his Instagram story, subtweeting, substorying, whatever, the whole Punk Instagram story delete. The thing that irritates me the most is that fanboys for either side are going to come out and start attacking each other, and that's the last thing we need in the professional wrestling landscape, period. B-roll, Jay, it is an honor to be here on the first episode of PW60. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, always remember, I've got till 5.
Well, there you have it. And thank you, Extreme League Wrestling. It's a pleasure having you on board, and always interesting to hear your takes. But hey, speaking of takes and advice, how about we go to some advice from your friendly neighborhood dad hat? And after that, we're going to go to a New Japan report with our New Japan expert, the CDC.
All right, kid. We're going to Monday Night Raw. You have your money. We're going to eat before we go. If you're hungry afterwards, we will eat and grab some food on the way home. You have your money. Buy something fun that you're going to remember going to Monday Night Raw with, like a t-shirt, a figure, something fun. Use your money responsibly.
Greetings from Earth. I am Corey, and I'm here with your New Japan Pro Wrestling Weekly Wrap-Up. On March 31st, we saw the conclusion of the New Japan Cup. During the New Japan Cup, an ominous video package played. Fire, dragons, bears, an army, a bomb, military boots, an African-American policeman. What does it all mean? Nobody has a clue. In the semi-main event, Hiromu Takahashi successfully defended his title against Lio Rush. After the match, Zack Sabre Jr. came out in a questionable display. Everyone thought he was perhaps about to challenge, which made no sense as he's not a junior. Instead, a video package played to announce the newest member of TMDK, the Mighty Don't Kneel. Robbie Eagles will be challenging next for the title. Robbie Eagles, who came into New Japan as a member of Bullet Club, then defected to Chaos, is now defected yet again to TMDK. In your main event, the New Japan Cup final commenced. The recently defected, we're seeing a theme here, a lot of defection. The recently defected from Los Ingobernables de Japón, Sonata, now a member of Just Five Guys, burger surprise, took on David Finlay, also a recent defector and the new leader of Bullet Club. In their match, Sonata came out victorious. This is his first New Japan Cup win, and the first massive win for the new faction of Just Five Guys, burgers and fries. A couple of newsworthy items aside from the main event matches that occurred. It was announced that Will Ospreay did in fact suffer a shoulder injury that, although won't require surgery, will require time for rehab. Unfortunately, Will Ospreay will not be able to compete in some of the multitude of upcoming events he was scheduled for. However, it was announced for at least the New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling crossover event that Hiroshi Tanahashi will take his place and will face Speedball Mike Bailey. During backstage comments and segments, Jeff Cobb alluded to the fact that Kenny Omega, while still ducking him, he is no longer going to wait for Kenny Omega. He's coming to him and will possibly making an appearance in St. Louis. Also during backstage segments, it was agreed upon that the ultimate triad match would occur between Hanare and the current KOPW holder Shingo Takagi. More details on that to come. On May 22nd, the Sakura Genesis / New Japan Cup finalist winners press conference did occur. It was announced several matches for the road to Sakura Genesis. On April 2nd, there will be the debut match of Bolton Oleg, who will be teaming with Taguchi and Shota Umino to take on the team of TMDK and Zack Sabre Jr., Robbie Eagles, and Kosei Fujita. As previously mentioned, the KOPW will be the main event, the title match between Shingo Takagi and Aaron Hanare, the ultimate triad match. The details of this is that you have to score all three options. You have to get a pinfall, a submission, and a 10-count knockout. Additional rules that will go along with this. The match will have no time limit, no countouts, and no DQ. So a out-of-the-ring 20 count for New Japan wrestling matches is not in play, but a knockout of 10, which based on the indication is that must occur in the ring, although it's no DQ, so we'll see how that goes. During the press conference, it was also announced the following lineup thus far for the April 8th Sakura Genesis event. United Empires, Francisco Akira, Hanare, and Jeff Cobb will take on the House of Tortures, Evil, Sho, and Yujiro. Members of Hong Tai and Hikuleo and Tamatanga will take on what is currently listed as the Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, Kenta, and David Finlay, the leader. LIJ will also be in action, seeing Bushi, Shingo, and Naito taking on three members of Just Five Guys, burgers and fries, Doki, Taichi, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. The New Japan Pro Wrestling's TV title will be on the line. The current champion, Zack Sabre Jr., will be taking on the challenger, Shota Umino. It is unclear at this time if his dad will be refereeing. His dad's red shoes. The IWGP tag titles will also be on the line. Bushimon will be taking on Aussie Open. The IWGP Junior title will also be on the line. Hiromu Takahashi will be taking on the newest member of The Mighty Don't Kneel, TMDK, and Robbie Eagles. The main event for Sakura Genesis will see the IWGP World Heavyweight title championship match against the current title holder Okada versus the New Japan Cup winner Sonata of Just Five Guys, burgers and fries. It was also announced that Mercedes Moné will be putting her IWGP Women's title on the line, facing two opponents in Azumi and, I apologize if I'm butchering this, Hazuki? Sorry, I don't watch Stardom, so I'm not familiar with their names as well. Anywho, that's been your weekly wrap-up of what's going on in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Goodbye from Earth.
And there you have it. Shout out to Dad Hat, some great advice there. And of course, we all know and love him, the CDC. And interesting what New Japan's got going on here with all these different breakups of factions, man, and formations of new ones. And I got to say, I'm a big fan so far of this Five Guys burgers and fries. Just saying. Well, hey, up next here on PW60, we want to highlight our Wrestler of the Week. And boy, what a week she had. Masha Slamovich. Holy moly, dude. Back to back incredible matches in GCW. My gosh.
Yeah. You addressed her properly. She is your GCW world champion.
That's right. She defeated Nick fucking Gage, that Nick Gage, for the GCW championship. And then the very next night, defended that championship against Speedball Mike Bailey in Canada. And holy shit, that match, if you haven't seen it, folks, if it wasn't for the incredible Viking and Kenny matchup, that probably would have been our match of the week. But the ring literally was destroyed. I mean, but Masha Slamovich is your Wrestler of the Week. And I got to say, man, it's just great to see her come up from the indies. And speaking of the indies, we here on PW60 are going to highlight an independent wrestler every week. And who better than to do that than our good, close personal friend, Sienna. So let's go to her.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone, to Indie Wrestler Spotlight of the Week. My name is Sienna Chanel, or SC for short. I've been an avid independent wrestling fan since 2017, going to my first ever independent wrestling show. And from there, I fell in love with going to indie shows, of course, locally or even well-known as well. So I'm bringing you here in Pro Wrestling 60 Minutes, of course, indie wrestling star that I'm going to featuring every single week and get to know them a little bit. You may know them, you may don't know, but it's a whole new learning experience. So this week's first annual or episode or whichever you call it, first ever indie wrestler spotlight of this week goes to Sandra Moon.
Born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada, Sandra Moon is known as by two nicknames, the Subspace Sweetheart and most notably, the Lightning in a Bottle. She started training at Future Stars of Wrestling back in 2017 where she made her in-ring debut. From there on, Sandra wrestles in various promotions such as FSW, West Coast Pro, Freelance Pro, Oasis Pro, Prize Style Underground, PCW Ultra, GCW, and amongst others as well. As her television appearance, where she made her appearance on AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, in Ring of Honor, and 2 appearances with Impact Wrestling. From there on, she received a wonderful opportunity where this May of this year, she'll be in Japan going on tour for Marvelous Pro Wrestling. Sandra only held 4 championship total, all singles. Previously, she was an FSW Women's Champion and the former PHW Party Monster Champion. Currently, she is the UGWA Heavyweight Champion and the Pride Style Champion, where she took it to Honor, where she is a very proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, where she is very honored to be her true self, and especially to the fellow wrestling community. And fun fact, in August of 2021, she started her own promotion called Grap House Pro, where it's an underground wrestling promotion based in Las Vegas, Nevada. So they are having the recent show next month in April. So I highly suggest that you check it out, y'all. And if you want to check out more Sandra Moon, there is her social media panel on the bottom right, her Instagram and her Twitter, as well as if you want to book her for an independent wrestling show, she is open to some dates, so highly suggest you check it out.
And that is it for Indie Wrestling Spotlight of the Week. So I highly suggest to check out your local independent wrestling shows that is nearby, far away, or whichever you go, because you never know. Someone like Sandra Moon or any other independent wrestling star will make it big one day, and they'll be appearing on your television or computer or whichever platform you're watching as well. support indie wrestling, and hope y'all are having a very wonderful day, and etc., y'all.
Well, there you have it. I'm going to have to check out Sandra Moon. Very interesting. Well, my friend, are you ready for some randomness? How about some
Let's get random.
That's right. Let's get random with Brian's House of Random.
Get familiar with that logo. Get familiar with this face. It's kind of scary, I know, but that's okay. We'll deal with it together. Hi, I'm Brian, Brian's House of Random, here as part of Cole TV and Pro Wrestling 60. Very excited to be a part of this this big launch with this premiere episode, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Enjoys, of course, my segment, but more importantly, enjoys the entire thing. It's going to be awesome because these awesome creators all throughout always do amazing as part of the WrestleTok community and on YouTube and everywhere else. So, of course, you can find me. You can Google it, baby, Brian's House of Random. All my stuff will come up. You can look on the Book of Faces. You can look at the gram very instantly. You can go to the talk that keeps on a-ticking. Boom, if you know what I'm saying. And right here on the tube just for you. And, of course, one of the things I have demanded from Cole TV and my brothers from another mother, XLJ the OG, and Mr. B-Roll, is full creative control, brother. Speaking of that comes into mind with what this segment is going to be about. Now, when I get to do other segments, it may be other questions, maybe totally random thoughts, random musings, but how about a random what-if scenario? Here's one that come to mind when I was watching some clips on YouTube not too long ago, and thought got to percolate in my mind. So, think back to Super Brawl, WCW Super Brawl 5 in 1995. Main event, heavyweight championship match, WCW title, the big gold belt, one of my favorite designs ever, and you had the champion Hulk Hogan, of course you know about all of his creative control, brother, versus Big Van Vader. Now, we know, unfortunately, that it was by disqualification, Ric Flair's interference. Here's my what if. What if Hogan didn't have his way like he always did? And what if Big Van Vader would have won clean and beat Hulk Hogan for the WCW title? How would that have affected things then and going forward? Of course, if you want to throw your answers in the comments, go with it. There you go. Follow myself, follow all these awesome creators on all the socials, and have yourself a great day.
Having ourselves a great day indeed. Thank you so much, Brian. And man, oh man, we love our WrestleTok family. Hey, speaking of WrestleTok, how about we talk about our WrestleTok Content Creator of the Week? And for this week, Mr. B-Roll, who we going with?
Hannah Mania, our WrestleTok Creator of the Week.
That is right. She's got some pretty awesome content. She used to be Hannahausen, but now she changed up the gimmick, brother. And I think most of her videos that I've seen have been in a car, but I think she's kind of changed that up a little bit too. But she's an incredible content creator. Shout out to her, as she is our WrestleTok Content Creator of the Week. Hey, also, how about this? This is a huge shout out to Andy Kaufman is finally going in the Hall of Fame. You know, we kind of scoff at celebrities going in the WWE Hall of Fame throughout the years, but there's been a couple that's been worthy. Andy Kaufman, I'm going to say it now, is the most worthy and most well-deserving person to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. So well-deserved, so happy for him, and I cannot wait. And that'll be all part of WrestleMania weekend, which, my gosh, bro, we are there. We are there, WrestleMania weekend. I mean, this is part of the kickoff here on Cole TV of WrestleMania week, but we've got so much other stuff going on WrestleMania week. And how about the GCW collective shows you'll see all this weekend during WrestleMania, like the Bloodsport. Oh my God, Kota Ibushi and Speedball Mike Bailey. Let's go. And then you've got, I think Speedball Mike Bailey's got a nut schedule, but he's facing him, Hiroshi Tanahashi at the Impact show. He's facing Hio Del Faikino, your boy, at Joey Janela. Yeah, it's a spring break show. It's going to be crazy, man. Effie's Big Gay Brunch. I think there's literally like 16 shows or something part of the collective. It's going to be nuts. And, of course, we mentioned, too, the Impact New Japan Pro Wrestling Multiverse United will be taking place this weekend as well. That's on Thursday. How about Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling in Los Angeles? That'll be taking place. And, of course, your Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, in addition to, of course, the daddy of them all, WrestleMania. And don't forget, the NXT's TakeOver show will be happening too. And of course, we got you covered here all WrestleMania week on Cole TV. There you see our lineup here. You're watching PW60. Tomorrow, you're going to see that Cody Rhodes retrospective, which is really awesome. We got a prediction show, and we're doing all sorts of live reaction shows. There you can see the schedule. It's going to be pretty incredible because, folks, this is, in fact, the most wonderful time of year. Am I right? And yeah, there it is, the Cody Rhodes. Ooh, can't wait for that tomorrow night here on Cole TV. It's going to be awesome. And hey, a shout out to, if you're in the Los Angeles area, hit up some of our friends, Best Gout, Sienna, MWO, the Shooting Star Press, just to name a few, who will all be attending stuff all this weekend. It's going to be an awesome time, and I cannot wait. Well, folks, we told you 60 minutes or less. We have come to the conclusion of the very first episode of Pro Wrestling 60. And we want to thank all of our brothers and sisters from WrestleTok, because without you, this show would not be possible. So thank you all so very much. And we will see you next week on a new episode of Pro Wrestling 60. I'm XLJ, the OG, with my partner in crime, Mr. B-Roll. And as always, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. See you next week, folks.